Good evening, everyone. I'm Meghan Lynch, and I'm really excited to share my research from the last year with you. I focused on augmented reality and specifically how retailers can use it. So first, it's been a tough time for retailers. Just last year, 7,000 different brick and mortar stores closed. And you're probably wondering why. And some of you in the room know very well, since you're going to one of the employers, Amazon, the elephant in the room, as well as Alibaba. And so my first question was, what does retail have that online doesn't? Again, obvious answer here, physical space. So the next question I asked was, how might chief retail officers leverage new technology to better engage their customers? Apple launched ARKit last June. Google launched AR Core in August. And if that wasn't a hint enough, a pattern emerged and Snap launched Lens Studio in December 2017. So it was no surprise when Digital Bridge reported that 69% of consumers now expect retailers to launch AR apps within the next 6 months. Yeah, we demand a lot as customers. But first, you may be asking yourself, what is AR? AR, augmented reality, is the virtual overlay of contextual digital information that a device generates on a physical world object and a user sees in the display of that device, which its camera captures in real time. You're probably most familiar with it from the 2015 debut of Snap's dog feature called Snap Lenses, or perhaps you're more of a gamer and played with Pokemon Go back in 2016. Seeing how popular these games were, I knew that retailers were going to be launching onto it, figuring out how they can use AR. And no surprise, when the Retail Federation did a poll at their annual conference, retailers ranked digital store technologies as one of the top investment priorities. So then I asked myself, is there a market? Yes, there is. By the end of 2018, there will be 900 million active smartphones that have AR technology enabled. There's also forecasted $120 billion by the end of 2020 using AR. Are customers ready? Well, 80% of customers already use their phone in stores today. We're not going to have to worry about them changing habits. They're already looking at their iPhone when they're going shopping. Are customers interested? I looked at a survey of 1,000 people, so great sample size, and I was really interested in the first three. People are excited about shopping at the retailer because they're offering augmented reality. They would prefer to do that retailer over other ones that don't. And lastly, 40% are also willing to pay more for a product if they can experience through augmented reality. So how exactly is the customer journey improving? This is a standard customer journey that you may have seen in some of your other retail classes. And I decided to focus on 3 retailers that were doing a really great job on improving this customer journey. And to give you a little preview, they were Starbucks and Zara. And one thing that I was very surprised to see is that they didn't focus on just one step of the customer journey. Their augmented reality experience touched on a lot of different points. So first, Walmart, the big box store everybody knows. They specifically chose to create an AR experience outside of their own app, partnering with an agency, Current Studios. And they also have now a plug-and-play method where they focus on creating AR experiences based off of big blockbusters that are coming out. So first they did Marvel, then Angry Birds, Star Wars, and most recently they partnered with Current Studio to offer augmented reality with the Wakanda app. As I mentioned, this was more of the customer journey focused on the engaging and discovering, so not necessarily trying to sell more items in the store. It was to draw the customers into the store and have them want to play around with the game and come back. For Starbucks, they were also an early adopter of augmented reality. They partnered with an agency called Blast Radius to create a separate augmented reality app from the regular Starbucks app so that users could decorate their Starbucks mugs for Valentine's Day. And then most recently, last year, they launched a partnership with Alibaba to engage customers in the store. It was their way of experimenting. They typically do this with a lot of their retail stores where they try one new technology and see how it works. And customers were able to unlock certain badges to see how different parts of the coffee process works. And it's too early to really tell if people are buying more coffee and going to the store more often, but from the online chatter, it's been very successful. And the last use case I have, I'm super excited about. It only launched 2 weeks ago. Fingers crossed that this movie works. It's through Zara, the high fashion retailer. Essentially, Zara has models walking in and out of the store when you're using, again, a separate Zara AR app. And they launched in 7 stores in the US, 120 worldwide, offering only certain clothing lines that you can purchase through the AR store. So they differentiated the customer journey by giving exclusive content. The most exciting AR use case I have seen to date. So in conclusion, how might chief retail officers use AR in store? Well, they're going to want to partner with the chief technology officer to evaluate their current digital strategy to identify which step of the user journey that they should first experiment with. They need to determine whether experience should be offered in the store infrastructure through something like a magic mirror or the mobile app, or if they want to do a separate third-party app. Or third, they should decide whether the company should develop the AR in-house or with a third-party vendor. Thank you.
Firstly, nice job. So I'm wondering, it seems like a lot of these are doing a second app.
Yes.
How are they diverting traffic or getting people to download a second app if they have startup?
So I think that's part of the way that they're currently mitigating the risk is that they don't want to have issues with their own app. And so a lot of times it's just the basic signage in store to let customers know that the app is available. And then again, traditional marketing campaigns letting them know.
Thank you.
Strauss.
Great job. For the words AR, so augmented reality,
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if customers can relate what AR is because you can tell an example of Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you say here download an AR app or augmented reality app, my hypothesis is that a lot of customers might not know what that means or is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to know how these companies are naming these apps and how are they kind of marketing it to customers without using some of the technical.
So interestingly, they actually use AR in all of the titles except the Alibaba app with Starbucks. And I think that's because Chinese consumers are much more sophisticated with mobile applications. But for the most part, I would say that it's the how-to guide in basic marketing, yeah. Yes,
So,
Professor Taylor.
First of all, what's your answer to that question that you posed?
I think it's the savior of retail.
And secondly, I mean, one way to think of it is it's a race. It's a race for the online retailers using artificial reality to mimic physical interaction. And there's a race on the physical retailers to use augmented reality to provide a richer, fuller experience.
Mm-hmm.
As you think about those two, how do you see that playing out? In other words, could an online retailer, they're trying to get you to try on stuff without having it physically there, right? They're
Right.
using that to me, that seems to be the race. How do, what-
Yeah, so I specifically only focused on the retail first use cases, but I definitely am concerned about the quick rate of adoption of augmented reality at home. So you don't necessarily need to be in the store to have these augmented reality experiences. I think that will be the first problem that they encounter. But at the same time, there are so many online first retailers that are now offering pop-up shops or showcases. To me, the importance of having a physical location where you can be engaging with the employee is never going to go away. I think people are going to always want to have that human connection.
So a lot of the apps that you looked at were about kind of experiences and emotional kind of parts of that customer journey. There's been some talk at least about the ability to provide product information that's akin to the Amazon lengthy amount of detail. Do you think that's just
A stepping stone?
Yeah, like that this is a stepping stone to getting people to use it so that they can do things like that? Or
Yeah,
is it a separate use case?
I think that will be the eventual use case, but right now, for the most part, it was gamification, then retailtainment, and now it's going to be added value, like that magic mirror example where you can see the different colors and you don't have to take off the shirt every single time, and then definitely at home with the size and fit. Hans?
So Meghan, what, if anything, did you learn about retail by segment? In other words, is there a part of retail that is more likely to use this well and really want it? And are there any parts of retail where it just seems like it's probably not a match and therefore may not be used? Or just early adopters one way or another where you look and say here's going well and here it's not?
I think Steph teed me up really well because this is definitely a technology tool that you use once you have all of the basics completed. So you already have your omni-channel strategy and you have your buy online, pick up in store. If you don't have those basic necessities or store locations, you're not going to be using augmented reality. So it's for the more sophisticated retailer who already has a digital strategy in place.
I imagine it's customer segment too. Like if you're in a sector that has a younger, more savvy customer base, they're more likely to adopt it, and therefore you're more likely to see a return. Versus,
it's probably also in industries that are more competitive. And AR seems to be, it's a difficult bet to pull off if you want to be competitive and differentiate yourself. But in the industry, really, that's the only thing you can do, because in Zara, it's just the same philosophy. The only thing you can do is just, create value-added services. Maybe that's an industry that you'll have to look at. CVS probably not going to do it, but maybe Zara has more, reasons to do it.
You may also therefore break out Alva's question may break out along those lines too. For instance, you could imagine that having it in the home when you're talking about furniture or decor would be a lot more useful than other things that you might, maybe you could do it at home, maybe not, whatever. But if you actually had your room there, then
that's what Wayfair does for their AR. You actually, they place the couch in your living room as you're standing in your living room using your phone, so you can see what it will look like spatially. It's kind of cool. They downloaded it at the tech conference, actually.
Great, thank you.